Yeah, I think great team game today. I mean, this team was hard to – they were disciplined in the half-court set to kind of run their plays, and they were programmed really well and coached really well to do what they do. And we just had to be disciplined on our end to kind of match what they were doing. And the thing I love about this team is that when we don't make shots, we keep shooting. And I felt like that during this game when we were
39 times.
Yeah,
I love it.
We keep shooting. We shoot our way out of it. But yeah, great team win. It's fun to get out there and get some more extended minutes and have an impact on the game.
What about the double behind the back? Alley-oop. Come on now.
Is Trey okay after that double behind the back?
Trey's been dunked on twice this week, so
once as an offensive player and once as a defensive player.
Dawson, how close are you to being back to what you feel is your normal self after tonight?
It's still a work in progress. We're trying to be hopeful about my foot and how it's going, and hopefully just playing through it that it will, hopefully just get to 100%. But we're not there yet. So it's a process of, figuring out with doctors what to do and keep trying to stay at it and stay hopeful.
It's Samus to any of you guys, so please address him with his proper name.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, and Christmas prayers for his foot. Could we please get this thing healed? My goodness, please.
So what's it like this week when you have guys in and out of practice for finals and you don't really have any full stuff going on and still to come out and put up 100+ points on it?
Yeah, I mean, this team's special. This team's different. We really, when it's time to go, right? And I think we love to keep the standard. And like Dawson said, or I guess Sam has said, this team was really disciplined. They were really just how they ran their offense was a little different than what we're kind of accustomed to guarding. But I feel like these guys, like our guys, were really ready to go. We got really excited when everybody finished finals. It's always a glorious time. Yeah, like when it's time to step over across those white lines, like it's go time. So I feel like we're really a mature team this year.
Atiki, what can you say about his performance all over the court, blocking shots, perfect from the field?
Yeah.
I mean, has he reached a point in his development where you feel like you can count on him every single night at a certain level of production?
Yeah, so it's interesting about Tiki because like these finals at BYU are real, guys. And so Atiki, it was unbelievable how patient and poised and aggressive and dialed in he was today, and he hasn't been that way the last few games because he's been carrying the stress of these finals. Like it's a massive challenge. I thought he was unbelievable today, but I loved his patience after the catch. Made him really special today on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, his communication, we kind of made an adjustment with him early on in the game, and his communication on the defensive end was spectacular.
This performance tonight from him kind of give you more confidence about the depth of the five. I know that was a concern coming in. Is he a Big 12 play?
Yeah. No, I have a ton of confidence in T. I mean, he's still dealing with this thumb, which is never going to go away all season, which is super unfortunate for him. But he brings dynamics to us. It was good to see him feel a little bit more of the juice and the freedom, the free play that we've grown accustomed to. I thought he was terrific.
You mentioned how they were disciplined on some of the stuff they ran on offense, but you guys were able to capitalize on turnovers quite effectively. 13 turnovers, 28 points off of those turnovers. Can you just talk about what was working for you in the transition game tonight?
Yeah, I think the atmosphere has a big part to do with, when we cause turnovers, everybody gets kind of rowdy, and it kind of just leads to an offensive good play for us. And forcing a lot of turnovers, having wings kind of run and sprint the floor. This team was kind of made up of a lot of kind of guards. And I think they were used to getting back in transition and guarding the perimeter, which led the rim kind of open, which allowed plays for us to kind of, open space to make plays.
Trev, specifically for you, I know the easy answer is probably just don't foul, but you pick up the two quick ones, you come out at halftime, hit two floaters. What adjustments were you able to make to stay on the floor?
Yeah, I think today was a great turning point for me, and just like realizing that, like what I was able to do the second half without, getting in my head because of those two fouls, was just like the maturity of this team, right? Like I had Jackson come up to me, I had Dallin, I had Trey, like I had a ton of guys like put their arms around me, and they're like, hey, like you got a whole nother half to play. Coach Pope had great conversations with me prior to this week, and then just took me aside at halftime. And so to have like guys like this, a coaching staff that has so much trust, it's really kind of nice to just be like, hey, like next play mentality. And I think that's where the maturity and the specialness of this team kind of comes into play.
Mark, what were your impressions of Marcus's 8 minutes of action and how he performs for his debut?
I loved it. I actually thought he made a couple really intelligent communication reads on defense, and I loved that he was absolutely fearless on the offensive end. Clearly, like he has watched too much of the Media Madness film. Clearly, but I like young guys that are fearless. You know, you think about it. This is a high school senior right now, who is on his third school in 6 months, and you know, got the surprise call that he was going to be able to play this year, and walk down on the court with 8 minutes left in front of 15,000 fans for the first time in his life, and for him to walk out there and be fearless is really great. And he's gonna have a great future. He's got a lot of growing to do, but he's gonna do it, and he couldn't have better. I mean, come on, you know, if you're thinking about bringing a rookie into an organization with these guys as examples, he's really blessed to be around these players and learn how to be a pro from these guys. It's pretty cool.
Coach, what does it say about this team where you leave your leading scorer on the bench, Jax, obviously all night, you have to make that early change when Trev gets that second foul and everything, and yet you still get 6 guys, I think it was, in double figures, at least 9-3-3 almost right there.
Yeah.
So what does that say about the depth of this team, I guess?
We have a lot of guys that want to play together. I think that's the beautiful thing. Is like, I think, you know, these guys can answer this, but it sure feels like they love playing with each other. And it feels like it's like next guy up is like, let's go. And you know what's interesting is we're playing a lot of guys, which is fun, but the way these guys are playing right now, so you take a night for tonight example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that got up 4 or more threes, right? And it's just fun. Like there's no hesitation to make plays for each other because they know it's coming right back to them. Our depth is important. Like, we still haven't had a game with a healthy roster, right? I would like to do that at some point. I would like to have a healthy roster, but these guys have answered the bell in spite of all that for a really impressive 2-month run.
2 more questions.
You bring up the health. Last night you said that Foose will be back on the court. Is that for practice or in the actual game against BYU?
Yeah, so we're hoping that right now the plan is get him on the court for practice next week and see where we end up on Saturday.
Okay, last question.
Coach, just talk about the involvement of just Spencer Johnson. I feel like Spence, can score, he can assist, and I think this is the second or third game where he's almost been at that triple-double line. I feel like he's going to get it at some point this season.
Yeah. Just
how has Spence just carried this team?
The thing I'm most proud of Spence on, he's taking this onus on himself to be like the defensive leader of this team, and Trev is trying to steal that mantle away from him. Trev is brokering for that position. But we started out it was interesting. In the second half, we started out and it felt like we had made an agreement with Bellarmine that we were just going to both let each other score every time down the floor. And the thing I love most from Spence, I mean, you think about Spence, he's 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. He's 14-7-3 and 3 with 3 steals. And the thing he was most passionate about and most upset about was the way he started the second half defensively. There were a couple of miscues, and he took it super personally, and that's why he's a great leader, right? Is because he is on board with the rest of the team about holding ourselves to a standard on the defensive end, and it was really impressive what the guys did the last 8 minutes of this game. Just these guys they're talking in the huddle about like, hey, keep to our standard defensively, and it's pretty cool. It makes it fun to play and coach and watch the whole thing.
Okay, thanks guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Good job, boys.